Watch your phones, because you have no idea how many phones are down in this river. People sticking out that boat and try and take a picture, and it's the last time they see it. So if y'all ready? Let's go! Mississippi, if anybody knows where that is. That's about 450 miles north of where we are right now as the river flows. It is a rain-fed river. All the water in this river came from Mississippi somewhere. If it rained here in Slidell in Louisiana for a month straight, this river will not rise. But if Mississippi gets a good amount of rain, this river will come up 3 feet overnight. In fact, it's still coming up. You see the white foam that's on it? That means the river's still rising. The river got its name back in the 1600s when the Spanish explorers came here. They found that the river has these big black clams in them, and they produce pearls. It's not the white pearls that you ladies wear for jewelry. It's a black pearl, and it can get to be about the size of a marble. In fact, I was just reading last week that they found a pearl in this river. It's called the Half Moon. And it's sold for $100,000. I wish I would have found it.
Anybody for diving?
I guess I didn't show a picture of it, but I guess it was white and black. This river also has more species of fish in it than any other river in North America. There's 147 different types of fish in the river. The smallest we call a cockahoe minnow gets to be about 1.5 inches long, and the largest is the Gulf sturgeon. The Gulf sturgeon can get to be 9 feet long and 300 pounds. Pretty big fish, and that fish only grows 1 inch a year, so you can imagine how old the 9-foot fish is. And that fish is protected by the federal government. If they catch you with one in your boat, you're going to wish you would have robbed the bank instead of caught that fish. They do fish the river commercially for catfish. There's 3 species that they're trying to get out. The most covered is the Opelousas cat. That fish can eat every piece of it. It's all white, flaky meat. And the largest I've seen on the river is about 63 pounds. The Opelousas. The other 2 species are blue cat and channel cat, and they can get to be about 30 pounds apiece. As we're going down the river, you might notice in the trees a ribbon tied to the branch, and you'll see a line going into the water. That's where they're fishing for the catfish. They call that limb line. They'll put a hook on that line, and they'll bait it with either a live perch or a piece of ivory soap. Both work very well for the fish. The problem with fishing with the perch is you got to fish twice with one fish. The soap works really good, but it doesn't stay on the hook as long because it's a current in the river. The good thing about the soap is you don't have to worry about cleaning the fish. As we're going down the river, look in the trees because that's where you'll see most of the wildlife. We do have a ton of it out here. We have black bear, white-tailed deer, feral hogs. We have a lot of wild turkey. We have about 100 black bear out here. We have a lot of mink, a lot of otter, about 650 different species of birds. A lot of amphibians, a lot of snakes, a lot of alligators. Don't know what we're going to see, guys, because this isn't a zoo. Hopefully we get to see a lot today. Don't know. This is my first time down the river this morning. But whatever, if you see something y'all want me to stop, you might want to take a picture of it. Let me know. I'll be glad to do that. The only thing I don't stop is turtles. You'll see probably a lot of turtles, and most of them are going to be the red ear or the yellow eared salina turtles, which is the most common turtle you find in a pet store. We do have a lot of loggerhead. We have a lot of snapping turtles, but they hardly ever get out of the water. The only time a loggerhead will get out of the water, the female will go out and to lay her eggs, and she'll immediately get back in the water and never go check those eggs again. 20 ships and 4,000 pirates that worked for him. And they say in 1800 he was doing over $1 million worth of business a year. Now think about that. That's like $1 billion today. So he was pretty well to do. That's probably why he had all them ladies hanging around, all that money he had. He was also instrumental in helping Andrew Jackson defeat the British in the War of 1812. He brought 1,500 of his pirates to that battle and 3,000 pounds of black powder. And without his help, we would have lost that battle because the British were really hell-bent coming here to take all of half the United States that we bought. You know, that whole battle was fought over the Louisiana Purchase, where we bought half the United States from France. Well, British didn't believe that French had title to it, so they were coming here to take it. And if they would have been successful, the United States would look like it does today. It would be from the Mississippi River to the East Coast. Everything on the west side would be under foreign flag. They were so enamored with him and so happy with him helping that they gave him a big ball about 3 weeks after that battle. And it so happened one of the ladies in his entourage showed up at that party wearing the governor's dead daughter's dress that got killed on one of the ships going from New Orleans to Europe. So that cut him off immediately with the authorities. They thanked him for all he's done because we've done it without you. But if you don't leave, we're going to hang you. And they did. They went to Wagner, Mississippi, which is only about 10 miles from where we are as a crow fly. And they continued to pirate out of that area for the longest while we were still not getting along with Spain. But once we had a treaty with Spain, the Navy went to him and said, "Hey, buddy, you got to stop. We're friends with him now. You can't kill our friends." Well, you know, he was making all the money. He wasn't about to stop. So he went to Galveston. They burned him out of Waveland, and he went to Galveston, Texas, because that was still part of Spanish territory. And they chased him over there, and he staged his own death in Galveston and wound up in Venezuela as an admiral in that Navy. Lots of stories about him. I could go on and on, but I'm not going to bore y'all with that anymore. We're getting ready to get into a little Cajun village, guys, and these are residences that people built out here to recreate out of the sand, and they'll pull that boat over that tree and they'll winch it up and then bring them out here and hold on to them themselves. If you see a boat in front of the place, guys, you know the people are home. And this place is going to get to be pretty crowded in the next couple of days with the 4th of July coming. This place is going to look like a Walmart parking lot. I mean, there's going to be so many boats around here, you're going to be able to walk across them.
I saw a Confederate flag on that house.
What? A Confederate flag.
Oh yeah, they do have a Confederate flag. Yes, they do. This used to be part of the Confederacy. Over here on the right-hand side, you notice a little camp in the back with the G on the wall. They did sell that one last fall for $35,000, which isn't bad. I mean, except today, it's hard to buy an automobile for 35 grand. And on the right, you notice they got a houseboat on the side. It is legal anywhere on this river. If you have a houseboat and you want to use it as a camp, all you have to do is find a tree and tie it up to it. You don't have to own the property. As long as that boat's sitting in the water, you're all right. On the left-hand side, you'll notice those yellow cages. Those are crab traps, the blue crab. Now, we don't have any crabs in this river because this is a fresh water. But all the surrounding lakes are brackish and full of crab. If y'all get a chance to try to eat some, this is a good season for them. They're really delicious. The name of this area is Indian Village. And it's called Indian Village because before 1700 they had 1,500 Indians that lived here. And they were part of the Choctaw tribe. They called themselves the Aquafissa Indians. Unfortunately, in 1699, 4 English slave traders came here with 400 Chickasaw Indians, and they took 900 of these Indians back to South Carolina and sold them as slaves. The remaining Indians were mostly women and children, and they tried to live west of Houma, Louisiana, and they hooked up with the Houma tribe. And there's still descendants of those Indians in Houma today. They petitioned the federal government in 1997, I believe it was, to recognize them as the Aquafissa Indians, but they denied that application. And it's still in litigation today to try to get that, so they can get the benefits that the Native Americans get. And it's wrong because there's not that many of them, and it's not going to cost the government that kind of money. This little boat launch that's over here on our right-hand side, that is Indian Village Road. The Indians lived about a half a block off, and that is their private boat launch that they use to access all their camps here. And they still have the mounds that the Indians used about a block off the road. Everybody comfortable still? All right, guys, we're going to take off again. Alright, we made it in. Does everybody know what those big green leafy plants are?
Elephant ear.
Elephant ear. And that's an invasive species that's not native to this river. Somebody years ago planted those in their yard, and the birds and the wind transplanted them to this river. And it's the only invasive species out here that does any good for this river. It helps with the erosion, and that's the most detrimental thing to this ecosystem out here. And as you can see, they really like this river. On the left-hand side, you're going to notice a reddish tree. That's a cypress tree, and behind it is a sword-like looking plant coming up amongst these elephant ears. That's the Louisiana wild iris, and that makes a beautiful purple and gold flower called the fleur-de-lis, which means in French flower of life. That's the same flower that the New Orleans Saints put on their helmets, and it's also where LSU took their colors, the purple and gold. In April, when they're all blooming, this whole area is nothing but purple and gold. Behind it, you see a little darker plant that's got a pointed leaf. It's in a cluster, and that's called the arrowhead fern. And that's an edible plant. You can boil it, and it tastes like spinach.
Spinach? It tastes like spinach. Can I try?
ahead of us, you'll notice that there's a bunch of trees that are overhanging the bayou here. These are white and black willow trees.
Dragonflies. Yeah, dragonflies. Dragonflies everywhere.
The Indians used to also use these trees. They would chew the bark of these trees, and they found that when they did that, it helped them when they were sick. It took away their aches and their pains. And it was later found out it's a natural aspirin that occurs in the bark of these trees. I don't know how they found that out though. I mean, you know, who's the first Indian that said, I'm sick, I'm going to go chew a tree? But it worked. And as we're going through here, y'all might hear something like that. There could be a snake crawling out. These snakes like to get out of the water and get in trees to get the warmth of the sun.
Has that ever happened?
Always, ma'am, it does. Luckily, we got about 65 non-poisonous snakes and only 4 poisonous here. But yeah, they'll fall in the front of the boat and slither their way to the back trying to get out. So if that happens, I want y'all, they can't tell the sex of an alligator by looking at it because all their sexual organs are inside of them. There's one little slit under them that you got to stick your finger in and find out if it's male or female. Yeah, they usually don't like you to do that. But most of the alligators we will see they will be female. There'll be one bull male alligator for every 300 acres. He will kill every other male in that area to keep the females for himself. They have 80 teeth in their mouth and they lose those teeth every 2 years. They regenerate their teeth. They can't chew their food. They've got about 2,500 pounds of pressure in their jaws so they can kill whatever they want to kill. But if something's too big for them to swallow, they go bury it and wait for it to rot. Now look at the tip of his nose to the eyes. Every inch in between that equals a foot in body length.
Oh, he's coming this way.
He's like getting a marshmallow.
Dylan, watch him keep his hands down.
Oh, he's getting a marshmallow.
See if it's hungry. Doesn't look too hungry.
That sucker coming full of all the water.
The alligator.
Here he comes.
The teasing alligator.
Don't stop. Stop. Snake jumps on. Stop calling the gator.
Watch, he's gonna come up.
Oh, take a picture, take a picture. Oh.
Does he like you?
He would love him. They don't see very well, do they?
They see pretty good. They feel vibrations in the water. They have glands
That's not
under their
terrifying.
jaws. Oh, here it comes.
Get it. Those teeth.
Check this. Oh, we got the thing.
Y'all see those ridges on their back?
Yeah.
That's called scoots. And every one of those bumps is a fat cell that has blood vessels rushing into it. And what it does, it acts like a battery and stores the warmth in their body. They'll jump in the boat if you throw them up.
That's a tight fit.
Y'all see how the water's getting darker back here?
Yeah.
That's because the sediment is slowing down. It's giving that sediment a chance to settle to the bottom. It looks black, but if you look next to some of these trees, it's almost crystal clear. You can see through the water.
Hey, buddy. Oh, he's like. Food? Marshmallows? You got those marshmallows handy?
You'll see all the roots of these trees? That's because of all feral hogs out here. These hogs root around these trees to get all the grubs and the worms out of the ground, and they do all of this damage.
And oink.
And guys, this is the start of the walking tour. All right, so we're in a single file.
What you say, Willie?
Boat.
That's the closest.
Let's see if we can get him to climb a tree.
Buddy.
We'll get out of my pocket there, boy.
Buddy.
Our big tour, we're gonna go back to the
Don't shoot him.
There's one back there.
Whoops. A little too close.
Yeah.
Get him.
A little raccoon.
Oh, it's like a dog.
Or took you more for us.
Hey, buddy, you wanna snacky snack?
No.
Hey guys, hang on. I'm gonna pull this up a little further. Watch your hands.
Left your hands real well, and them sugar's coming on.
I'm gonna get up in this tree.
Oh, he's crawling.
Come crawling across there now. Look here.
Oh, I lost that one. I lost that one. You can't get through there, can you? You can't get through there.
Hey, go over.
Oh, yeah, I can.
It's like an obstacle course.
Come on, Bobby. Come on, Bobby. Come on. Come on over here.
Oh, look at him, look at him, look at him.
Look, 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 look. Come here, Billy.
Come on.
Billy.
It's a lovely name. Great name.
Oh, he
They climb
I
trees.
climb a tree.
They
I climb
They
that
can
tree.
climb trees.
Yeah, they climb trees.
You didn't know gators have them.
Yep. Oh! He has a very slow reaction time.
He's probably about 35 years old.
No, come in close enough.
Oh, male owl.
Good idea, get him over there.
Yeah, he probably weighs 1,000 pounds. Oh, let me get that wind blowing. Watch out, guys. You can. We're going right into the tree.